welcome to Qatar. After the flag, night one. It's the first edition here with you. I'm here with my trusty colleagues, Birt and Simon Crafar, and tonight we discuss the exact same result of 2018 here tonight in Qatar, the heroics of Crutchlow, and a bit later in the show as well, we'll bring you our predictions that we made yesterday and see how they panned out. Well, welcome to Qatar. Here we are then, myself, Steve Day, Birt and Simon Crafar to discuss what happened tonight. An epic race, the closest top 15 ever. A brilliant encounter. It had just about everything that we wanted. Matt, I'm going to start with you. Could it really get any better than that? Again, it's Marc Marquez, Andrea Dovizioso gunning it at the final corner, and Dovi wins the toe-to-toe battle again.
Could not have scripted a better start to 2019, could we, Steve? I feel like I've been putting a time capsule and gone back 12 months to 2018. Carbon copy, as you say. Classic showdown between Andrea Dovizioso and Marc Marquez, the two main protagonists of the last year. Throw in there as well, great rise by Alex Rins, Crutchlow. He was the hero of the night for me as well, and Valentino Rossi. He waved that magic wand again, then he coming from 14th to 5th place. Frustration for Maverick Vinales. So many great talking points. But yeah, Andrea Dovizioso, the perfect way to kick off 2019. The cream has risen to the top pretty quickly.
Simon, a crazy race. Maverick Vinales started on pole and disappeared. We didn't expect that. But the race was brilliant. A strange one, though. The pace was quite slow at the start, and that invited everyone to the party.
Yeah, it was really bunched up, wasn't it? And I think it was quite obvious Dovi was controlling the race, you know, like he did a few times last year, and that's why it was bunching up behind. But also that allowed like a few guys that had got bad starts or been hustled a bit, you know, further back to come right up. And 15 laps to go until 10 laps to go, it was still anyone's race because of that, which I think is going to be a lot like that this year, which is good for us because predicting a winner is super hard.
It was all kicking off at the start. Fabio Quartararo stalled his bike on his debut. One absolute nightmare for him, 5th on the grid. Jack Miller's getting rid of his foam seat midway through the race whilst he was up in the top 4. Once things started to settle, were you really surprised at the way it was panning out, Matt? Because Dovizioso was controlling things, slowing up the pace. Marc Marquez was up there. Rins came through as well. I'm not sure we expected that this morning.
No, I mean, heartbreak for Fabio Quartararo. So cruel starting from 5th on the grid, Steve. Yeah, I think Alex Rins was a big surprise package. Came into the season with a lot of expectation, big hopes. The factory Suzuki had delivered, certainly in terms of race pace, but a couple of crashes had really knocked his confidence last night, but he was able to get right in there. A really aggressive start coming from that 3rd row. And he had Andrea Dovizioso wood, you know, Rins was pushing so hard, his bike worked so brilliantly in sectors 2 and 3. That Suzuki was really coming into its own there. Andrea was saying, like, I wanted to get in front of him to break up his rhythm because at that stage of the race, Rins was pushing, he said, too hard. The rear tyre was not going to last that long, so Dobby got himself in the perfect place where he can manage the race, and more importantly, he can manage Rins at that stage.
We've got to talk about Valentino Simon as well, haven't we? He came through from 14th on the grid. I mean, most people this morning waking up were not expecting that.
I wasn't. And I would say about when he got up to 5th, how many laps to go was that? Probably half a dozen laps to go. I was going, look at Valley, you know. He's going to... I really thought he might have got through, you know, into that top 4, you know, 3. But, yeah, unbelievable how he pulls it out of the box on Sunday. His teammate, though, I can't believe it. I would have put $100 on at 15 laps to go until 10 laps to go that he was going to be there for the podium at the end, and it just never came good. I haven't heard his comments, but you could see when the camera went on him that when he was trying to get on the throttle, he had a few and didn't feel... I think he was struggling rear grip, and if it is rear grip, Yamaha are in the same position, aren't they, as they were last year?
Well, us three were talking last night, weren't we, about Maverick Vinales, saying, oh, he's in such a good place, everything looks happy, and what happened? I mean...
For me, Steve, it was the same old story, you know. How many times did we say it this weekend alone? It's great qualifying on pole position for Maverick Vinales, but how many times over the last couple of years, brand new tyres and more crucially a full fuel tank, they've had issues. He dropped nowhere straight away, gave himself far too much work to do. Clearly Maverick thought that they'd solved their issues in that area. They'd worked on it extensively in winter testing. Well, for me, it's back to the drawing board because the whole of qualifying went out the window for him. He took so many risks to get that pole position last night, and all for absolutely nothing because great race pace in the second half of the race again from Maverick, but all too little too late. He would not have liked as well, Steve, being beaten by his teammate. When you start on pole position with your teammate Valentino Rossi in 14th place, he would not have expected to have been second best Yamaha.
Marc Marquez then, he was up there again. He's had that shoulder operation. Nothing can stop him now. He's always there, isn't he?
I'm so glad I get to talk about Mark. Thank you. He's awesome, you know. You think about it, he's come through that operation, you know, finally got strong enough here. Still not 100%, saying still like a little weak in some areas. And you also throw into that his bike is newest, you know, compared to, he's got a completely new chassis, and they've been saying that because of that big airbox and getting all the cables out of the way, that the chassis is different feel, it's more stiff. Carl and him are saying that it doesn't give them the same feeling, and he goes out there on a tyre that's not his favourite because of track conditions, and he still fights for the win. He's awesome.
Going on to Cal Crutchlow, we've got to talk about this, guys. I want to get you both involved in this. You know Cal pretty well. You know what it's like coming back from injury. Wow.
Unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. I mean, a truly heroic performance from Cal Crutchlow. 4 or 5 months ago, Steve, the poor guy was lying in a hospital bed in Melbourne, wasn't even sure if he'd be able to walk again, let alone come out in a MotoGP race and be pushing Andrea Dovizioso and Marc Marquez like he did. I mean, absolutely superhuman effort from Cal Crutchlow. He's been through some seriously dark days. You know, at the back of his mind thinking, am I going to be able to lead just a normal life, let alone be competitive in MotoGP? What a massive boost for Cal Crutchlow and the LCR Honda team. Taka Nakagami had a great ride as well. Superb opening night for LCR Honda. But yeah, Cal Crutchlow to be that close to Andrea Dovizioso and Marc Marquez, who are the two top dogs in this championship after that injury, well, it was just an absolutely Herculean effort, absolutely sensational by Cal.
Guys, I know what it's like to be on the sofa and being looked after by people and come back from things, and I was surprised Carl wasn't more emotional. You know, when I interviewed him, I really thought he'd be like lump in his throat to come through all of that and get on the podium against that competition in his first race back. I was feeling a little bit emotional for him, imagining, and Lucy is his lovely wife. I'm sure she must have had shed a tear, you know, to experience what they've been through the winter, and then that today.
He just said in the press conference that he was worried he was never going to be able to walk again. For me, I mean, I'm not saying it's as big as a win, but that's his best podium.
It's going to feel like a win, that's for sure. To be that close, to be right in the heart of the fight, Steve, going home with 16 points. What's next on the calendar as well? Argentina, a track which Cal absolutely adores.
Last year.
What a boost for his confidence and for his morale. I think it's one of the closest podium finishes we've ever seen in Premier Class history.
I'd like
absolutely
to throw
stunning.
in there that the Hondas are dangerous, aren't they?
Oh,
you know, because you look at what they've done on a brand new bike, that meaning brand new chassis with good engine, that they're not happy with. When they get that thing dialed, the others are in trouble.
Well, Dovi's kind of referenced that in the press room
Really?
now. I mean, he will have known, he's been through it there. He's had a real hard fight. The Ducati had such a huge speed advantage, didn't it, last year? That seems to have been nullified somewhat.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, Simon made a great point. You know, Marc Marquez, he couldn't race that preferred hard front tyre, which he loves. And because he didn't have that confidence, certainly in the braking zones with that medium front, he said the last time he raced the medium in Qatar, he was a lowly 5th place. Consequently, without the confidence in the front, he was having to really burn up that rear tyre as well. And Andrea Dovizioso made that late mistake. It actually worked out as a benefit for him, because straight away Andrea could see that Marc was in massive, massive trouble with front grip and more crucially with rear grip. And Andrea, I think at that point thought, you know what, I might just have him covered, but it's Marc Marquez. We knew that overtake was coming at the final corner. We'd have all been absolutely gutted, really disappointed if Marc had not tried it.
There's going to be a few people asking us, guys, is this going to be, again, a two-way fight for the World Championship in 2019, Marc Marquez versus Andrea Dovizioso?
I don't think so. I don't think so. And more, I hope not. You know, because I really think Vinales will be back. I really think he's going to win some. Then you've got to, when they're fighting as close as it is now, I think there's going to be some crashes and points lost. So I really don't think so. Yes, Marc and Dovi are going to be there, but I don't think it's just going to be them.
Well, yeah, I hope so as well. I mean, I think, you know, Marquez and Dovizioso, they are quite clearly the two best riders out there right now. We saw a great performance from Alex Rins. He was so close to the podium on the Suzuki. Andrea Dovizioso is a wily old fox, isn't he? He said throughout winter testing means nothing really. We'll find out the true reality come Sunday night in Qatar. And it is those two guys that are right there at the sharp end of the game. But there are so many names to throw in the mix, like Simon says, behind that top two. I think the main championship battle will be fought out between Andrea and Mark. But on any given weekend, you can stick in a Rossi, a Viñales, a Rins. And I've got to say as well, Steve,
Petrucci.
One of the rides of the night for me, Petrucci for sure, but as well, Juan Mir. What a performance by Mir tonight. I mean, he was fighting for the podium in the first half of the race on his Grand Prix debut. This is, I think tonight was his 13th day on that GSX-RR. I mean, Suzuki have got themselves another real gem there.
Right, let's have a bit of fun then. This is new for 2019. You can sense that there's something going on in my voice here because I know what's to come. Yesterday, after qualifying, us three separately gave our predictions as to what might happen. The 1, 2, 3. Let's take a look and see what we thought. My top 3 for Qatar is Maverick Viñales, Andrea Dovizioso and Marc Marquez.
Well, for me, can't see past the top 3 guys on the grid. Dovizioso, Viñales and Marquez. That's my top 3.
I don't really know, but I'm going for Dovi, Mark, Maverick.
Well, there you go. Simon Crafar. Who knew? Dovizioso, Marquez. Hey, we all put Viñales in. I'm going to go and lay down and hide in a dark room, dig away. Maverick, what are you doing to me? What are you doing to me?
Hey, guys, but this is the thing about this year. We really don't know, and that's how it should be, you know. Like it was a fluke from me, you know, a little bit of gamble.
You got Dovizioso, and look, you're top of the table. You're second.
This time,
I'm in the relegation zone. Okay.
I'll be wrong.
We'll see what happens
Future
in
ones.
Argentina.
Yeah, I'll take a Dovizioso victory, but hey, sorry, you've got to get the first round in now, mate, after that one.
Hey guys, before we go, quick one, rider of the day for me, Cal Crutchlow.
Wow, yeah, for Cal Crutchlow, I've got to say, but running him really, really close was Juan Mir.
Okay,
That's mine. Juan Mir.
Yep. Juan Mir, Cal Crutchlow. Dovizioso wins the day though here in Qatar. What a first round that we have just had here in Doha. We're off to try and get a beer now. It's Simon's round. We will be back with you in Argentina. We've got a couple of weekends off. Thanks for joining us here. We hope you enjoyed it. We certainly have. Across the board, all 3 classes this weekend were fantastic. We'll see you in South America. Here comes Dovizioso, through on the slipstream, up the inside. Marc Marquez will go all in. Oh, here he goes. He sets him up. They both run wide. Here comes Dovizioso. Oh, my word. Dovizioso just gets it on the line.
It's an absolute carbon copy of 1 year ago.